Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I am McKinley412, and today we're going to be looking at the Friday main slate. It is a large slate here, and once again, a lot of rain that we have to be paying attention to. We just cannot seem to catch a break with Mother Nature these past few days. So rain issues, there's too many to really go in depth on them, but the Yankees game, Blue Jays game, the Pittsburgh game, Atlanta, Cleveland, Colorado, all those environments, you need to be paying attention to the weather right up until lock and even through lock, just to keep up with the delays. And I'm getting sick of it. I feel like this has been like 4 or 5 straight days where half a slate has been impacted by rain and delays, and it just doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. But we'll just dive right in here, kind of pretend that rain doesn't exist for the moment, and we'll just kind of give you some of the best plays for the slate. Up at the top, Max Scherzer, your clear ace on the slate, 10.5K, not a bad price for him, especially since we were paying an 11.5 for him not too long ago. But he does have a tough matchup going up against the Dodgers. Highest strikeout rate on the slate. You guys already know. We know what his ceiling can be with his strikeouts. Facing up against the Dodgers, though, who do not strike out often as a team. And if there's one weakness that Scherzer does have, it's lighting up the long ball. He actually has the highest fly ball rate against of any pitcher on the slate here. And, when there's some power behind it or some wind behind it, it can cause some serious issues. So, I don't think Scherzer's an absolute lock, plug and play. He's close. Don't get me wrong. He's close. I'm not telling you to fade him at all. You definitely need to be considering him. I'm just saying he's in a tough matchup, and what his weakness is kind of what the Dodgers' strength is. So Scherzer's your top option there. Right below him, Lance Lynn, going up against Detroit, a better matchup. But Detroit, they're not as bad as earlier on in the season or just in the past couple of years. And what Detroit can do is they can actually load up a lot of lefties into their lineup. They can have 5 or 6 lefties in their line. And that's a big thing for Lynn because his strikeout rate against left-handed hitters drops a lot, significantly. His strikeout rate against right-handed hitters is 35%. That drops down to 22% against left-handed pitchers or left-handed hitters, which, like I said, Detroit, they can fill in 5, 6 left-handed hitters in their lineup. So I still think I would take Scherzer over Lynn, but I don't think Lynn is a lock either. I don't think anybody is a true lock on this slate. There's lots of pitching options that you can do. I think once we get through all of this, you're going to notice that we're probably going to take one guy from the top, and we're going to take one guy from like the middle to low range, because I think there's a lot of good options down there. McCullers, very high ground ball rate, as we all know here. So he limits a lot of the damage going up against the Cleveland team that just doesn't do too great offensively. So weather in this game is just some strong winds blowing in. I think we were looking between 15-mile-an-hour winds, I think is what I last checked, blowing straight in from center. So he's not a fly ball pitcher, he's a ground ball pitcher anyways, but still, it's something to be paying attention to because he can't let up the fly ball. So McCullers, I think he's a fine option. I don't really trust him too much for cash, but I think for GPP, great play. Urias, we know his struggles at home, but on the road he does perform a little bit better. Probably he's got a tough matchup for the win bonus going up against Scherzer, but I think he's a fine play as well. So you're gonna kind of look for one of these 4 pitchers here. I'd probably go Scherzer, Lynn, Urias, and then McCullers, to be completely honest. Those 4. And then you just kind of hit this no man's land, as I call it. I don't really have any interest in any of these pitchers because I think there's a lot of studs, not studs, but I think there's a lot of good pitchers in good spots down here. Walker, he's been pitching very well as of late. His strikeout rate's over 30% in the past month. Manoah, going up against Tampa Bay, team that can strike out a lot. Let's see, Gibson, Canning, nice matchup against Baltimore there. Sonny Gray, I think Sonny Gray is going to be one of the most popular options down in this range here, if not the most popular option down in this range, going up against the Chicago Cubs team that already strikes out a lot. And let's go look at the Cubs lineup here. They have a lot of injuries that they have to be paying attention to. So make sure you're checking the lineups here. Because if the Cubs do not have Bryant, and they do not have Rizzo, and they do not have Wisdom, there's three of their top hitters right there. And like I said, they already strike out a lot as a team. So that could seriously hurt them even more. So I like Sonny Gray down in this range down here. You do have to make sure you're paying attention to his pitch count. He is coming off the IL, so I don't know. He's been up there. He's not throwing 110 pitches like other guys are, but I think he can still do some decent damage there. Erod, another nice play. Definitely gets a ballpark boost going over into Oakland. Oh, and Sonny Gray, his strikeout rate is 30%. So love it. Love it. Erod, we know what he can do. He doesn't seem to be impacted by the sticky stuff being illegal anymore. So I think he's an okay play down at this range. Brubaker going against Milwaukee, who likes to strike out a lot. And then last one, probably Smiley. Smiley's main issue is giving up the long ball, but he has not given up the long ball in his past 3 starts. And look what it's done for him. 18 points, 24, and 19. And at 6.7K, that is great value. And he's going up against a Miami team that is bottom 5 in home runs and in ISO in the month of June. So the one weakness for Smiley is really giving up that long ball. And the one thing Miami cannot do is hit the long ball. So I do think Smiley is one of my favorite options. I think he might be my favorite option personally down in this price range, even over Gray. Gray would probably be the second one, but I do like Smiley at 6.7K. So that kind of wraps up the pitchers. You're going to be looking up at the top here. For one, kind of nothing in this mid-range I'm interested in, and then going down to a lower option here. Bats, I think I'm going to start off. It's a Coors slate, and it's a Coors slate with not good pitchers either. So I think the implied run total on both of these teams is over 6. I think it's a 12.5 total for the game, an even money line. So obviously the bats in this game are going to be popular. Colorado, you're looking at the lefties. You're looking at guys like McMahon, Blackman, Tapia. Those are your lefties that you want to be paying attention to. Daza, he is a righty, but Daza actually has the best batting average of any Rockies bat against right-handed pitching this season. He's almost hitting 300 against them. So at 3.3K, and he bats up high in the lineup. He in the 2 spot. So I think he can provide some phenomenal value there if he's in the lineup. But St. Louis, way cheaper. You can see Colorado is pretty pricey. St. Louis, I don't know why DraftKings is not bumping up their price. They're going to be extremely popular again tonight. So guys like Goldschmidt, guys like O'Neill, Carlson, those are like your big 3. Arenado, he's going to be in there as well. I think this is going to be a very popular 4-man stack. What you see right here is going to be very popular. And you can do it and jam in a guy like Scherzer, no issue, just because they have not priced up these St. Louis bats for some reason. So you throw in Scherzer and then you go down to, I said I like Smiley. He's one of my favorite cheap plays. 3.5, 3.6K remaining. So more than possible. So Coors slate, St. Louis is just way too cheap. Jam them in. Colorado, a little bit more expensive, but also in a smash spot. And then you kind of get to the teams that have been the same teams that we've been paying attention to for the past 2 weeks, it seems. Houston, going up against Henches and the Cleveland bullpen. Houston, your main guys, you're looking for Altuve, Correa, and Gurriel. Those are your big 3, Altuve, Correa, and Gurriel. They do have some value that you can throw in, though. Straw and Toro, if they enter into the lineup, 3K on each of them. Super cheap. So Toro you can't put in because of Arenado. Should figure that one out. But you throw in Straw at 3K, and now you're up to 3.7 remaining for 3 bats. I don't want to give you an entire line here. So, but you can kind of see pricing is not really an issue on this slate, even with all the stud matchups, just because we have a lot of value pitchers that are available. So Houston, obviously there. Toronto, they're a team that you want to be paying attention to again. Patino, not good. Tampa Bay bullpen a little bit better, so maybe it's not as smash spot, but I think you definitely need to be looking at Toronto. They're just too cheap again. Springer shouldn't be 4.4. Teoscar Hernandez shouldn't be 4.5. Gurriel shouldn't be 3.6. They need to be priced higher up. So I like Toronto. There is rain going on in Buffalo today, so make sure you're paying attention to it. It's thundering, lightning right now as I speak, and I'm recording this video, so make sure you're paying attention to that. But apart from those 4 chalk teams, St. Louis, Colorado, Toronto, Houston, Cincinnati might be my favorite. I love Cincinnati at home. I'm always going to target Cincinnati at home. Winker, Castellanos, by far the top 2. And I think my favorite play of the night, and I know Mega Ruler is going to bash me once he watches this video and sees the thumbnail, Joey Votto at 4.2K. He's just in a smash spot, in a smash environment. And Votto, his numbers, he's very hot lately. His numbers against right-handed pitching in the month of June, he is hitting over 400, and his ISO is at 470. He seems to be flying under the radar. Everybody's talking about Schwarber, just absolutely smashing it. Votto is one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now, and he's only at 4.2K in a great lefty-righty spot at home in a small ballpark with favorable weather conditions. So I think Votto is one of my favorite point per dollar and hitters on this slate here. So I do like Cincinnati. If you kind of want to get away from those 4 chalk teams, I think they can make a great GPP play. But I think they can also just make a great stack that you can kind of combine with St. Louis and some of the value that you might see in Houston there. My one YOLO GPP call today, I'm going to go with Kansas City going up against J.A. Happ. Happ's numbers, lefties versus righties, are very, very extreme. He absolutely shuts down left-handed hitting in terms of power, in terms of strikeout, in terms of batting average, but he really, or in terms of WOBA, but he really, really struggles against the right-handed hitters. And Kansas City, they can throw out 8 right-handed bats tonight. So I do like Kansas City as your as kind of my YOLO GPP, probably not going to be too owned play. Top play would be Perez, followed by Santana. These 2 guys here are both hitting over 300 on the season against left-handed pitching. Nice value, Soler here. Soler in the month of June hitting 471. So against left-handed pitching. So I do like Kansas City here and the salary that they can provide and the pivot that they can provide as well. So that kind of wraps up the slate. It got the big 4 stacks again. Coors Field, Toronto, Houston. I think Cincinnati is in another great smash spot at home to kind of separate yourself. And Kansas City is my YOLO play of the day. Pitching, pick one of these guys up at the top. Scherzer is my top favorite. And then you're probably going to be going down to the bottom here. Smiley, Gray, Erod. I think I'll make some fine plays there. So good luck in your contest tonight. As always, please hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, comment down below. It really does help us out. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.